Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive. This time, we're going to kind of do things old school. Well, sort of.
Sort of.
We're going to be diving deep into the world of print marketing. And we're going to be doing that through the website of Schuster Print and Marketing. Now, you might be thinking, print, in the age of Instagram and TikTok.
Right.
But stick with us because it turns out there's a whole lot more to this world than you might expect.
Absolutely. When we hear marketing, most of us immediately go to the digital world. But Schuster's website really reminds us that print marketing has so many options still. And those options are really valuable to specific types of businesses and for specific types of goals.
Totally. And honestly, the thing that really jumped out to me at first was just how much they offer. Like their website navigation, it's like taking a trip back in time to like a real old school print shop.
Right.
But in a good way. They've got everything from the basics like business cards and brochures to even some more like niche items like door hangers and even NCR forms. You remember those?
Yes.
The ones with the carbon copies?
Yeah. NCR forms are a great example of how print is still essential for specific industries. You see them a lot in healthcare and logistics where you need to make duplicates instantly,
Oh, yeah.
especially in environments where technology is not reliable or just isn't available.
That's a really good point. It's easy to forget that print has a level of tangibility and permanence that digital just can't match.
Oh, sure.
But what's interesting is that when you look at Schuster's site, it's clear they're not just about printing old-fashioned flyers. They really seem to be focused on creating, creative marketing solutions and helping brands grow.
Absolutely. And they really make that clear on the website. They have a really nice About Us section that really emphasizes how they're committed to going above and beyond what their customers expect and finding the right solution for everyone who comes to them.
Okay, but is that just marketing talk? I mean, every company says they're customer-focused, right?
Yeah. Of course. It's easy to say, but the proof is always in the pudding. We'd have to look a little deeper into things like customer reviews or industry feedback to really see if they're walking the walk, but it's a good sign that their messaging points in that direction.
Okay, fair enough. Now, here's where things get really interesting. They have these things called branded corporate portals. It's essentially like setting up a custom online storefront just for a business, but specifically for ordering print material.
Oh, that is smart. You can give your entire team a dedicated platform online where they can order any marketing materials they need, and it's all pre-approved and perfectly on brand.
Right.
No more designs going rogue and no more inconsistent messaging.
Right. It's like a built-in way to make sure your brand stays consistent,
Right.
which could be a huge headache for larger companies especially.
Oh, absolutely.
And think about all the money you could save by streamlining that entire ordering process.
Absolutely. It really shows that Schuster's not just thinking about individual print jobs. They're thinking about a whole solution that integrates print and digital in a way that can really help businesses.
So it seems like they're not just a printing company. They're like a marketing partner.
Yes, that's a great way to put it. And it makes you wonder, in a world that's so focused on digital marketing, how can print be used strategically to boost those efforts?
That's a good question. I'll have to think about that. But first, let's dig into some more of what Schuster's offering. I was also impressed by how easy their website is to use.
For sure.
They have sections for custom quotes, uploading files, and even a whole area dedicated to just resources.
It seems like they really thought about all the different types of users they might have.
Yeah.
Whether you're just a person looking for a one-time project or a giant corporation with tons of printing needs, they've got you covered.
And they make it super clear how to get in touch with them. They have their contact info right on their website, their phone number, their email, even their street address in Tempe, Arizona.
That can be a big selling point for businesses who want to work with local or regional suppliers.
Absolutely. We've covered a lot, but there's still more to see.
One thing that really stood out to me on their site was how well they show off just how much they offer.
I know, right? It's not just some like bare bones site with a few product listings. They clearly put some real effort into showing off their services in a way that's interesting and informative.
Yeah. For example, they have this whole section just for large format printing,
Oh, yeah.
which is way more than your typical flyers and brochures. We're talking like banners, signs, even those retractable stands, the kind you see at trade shows and conferences.
Yeah.
It just goes to show that there's still a huge demand for those big visual displays, even in a world that's becoming more and more digital.
Absolutely. And what's really cool is that Schuster doesn't just print the stuff. They also offer design services. And they can even help with installation.
Oh, wow.
It's like a one-stop shop for businesses who want to make a big visual impact.
That's a great point. Having that full service option really sets them apart. It
Mhm.
really shows how committed they are to being a partner for their clients, not just a vendor.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of partners, those branded corporate portals that we talked about earlier,
Mhm.
I think those are worth taking a closer look at.
I agree. They're really unique and innovative.
Yeah.
It's such a smart way to streamline the way businesses order print material, especially for places with multiple locations or departments. Imagine being able to manage all your company's print stuff from one central place.
It's all about efficiency and brand consistency, right?
Exactly. With these portals, you can pre-approve templates, set spending limits, and even keep track of orders in real time.
Yeah.
It just takes away so many potential problems and makes sure everything that's printed is exactly in line with the brand.
And practically speaking, it probably saves companies a ton of time and money.
Oh, absolutely. No more going back and forth over email, no more rogue designs, no more last-minute print runs. It's a win-win for Schuster and the client. It's a perfect example of how they're using technology to make the traditional printing process even better.
Yeah. It's like they found this perfect balance between the physical world of print and the convenience of digital.
And that's becoming so important for businesses these days.
Right.
You got to be able to work in both worlds to create a truly comprehensive marketing strategy.
Definitely. So as we start to wrap up our deep dive into Schuster Print and Marketing, what are the biggest takeaways for our listeners?
I think first and foremost, it reminds us that print isn't dead at all. It's changing and adapting to meet the needs of modern businesses, and in some really interesting ways.
For sure. And Schuster's a great example of a company that's leading the way.
Absolutely.
They're not just stuck in the past. They're embracing the future by bringing in technology and coming up with innovative solutions to help businesses succeed.
They're not afraid to try new things and push boundaries while still staying true to the things that have always been important in the printing industry, like quality customer service and craftsmanship.
It's really amazing to see how a company like Schuster, a company that's rooted in such a traditional industry, has managed to stay ahead of the curve and remain so relevant, in today's digital world.
I think it really all comes down to their ability to adapt and to innovate.
Yeah.
They haven't just digitized their existing processes. They've actually created entirely new services and solutions, like those branded corporate portals,
Right.
that really address the evolving needs of their clients.
It's a great example of how any business, no matter what industry it's in, needs to constantly be thinking about how they can leverage technology to improve what they offer and to create more value for their customers.
I completely agree. And it's not just about technology.
Right.
Schuster's success also comes from how well they understand their clients' businesses and their commitment to building these long-term partnerships.
Yeah. They're not just out there selling print products.
Yeah.
They're selling solutions and peace of mind.
Right. They're basically taking on all the hassle of managing those print operations so their clients can stay focused on what they do best.
Exactly. So as we wrap up our deep dive into print marketing, would you say that print is like having a resurgence, or is it more like it's evolving alongside digital?
I think it's definitely more of an evolution than a resurgence. Print's not going anywhere, but it is finding new ways to exist alongside and integrate with digital. And, in some cases, it's even reclaiming some of its old territory.
Oh, really? What do you mean?
Well, we're seeing more and more people wanting to take a break from all the digital stuff.
Mhm.
They're looking for tangible experiences and physical objects that give them a sense of connection and permanence.
Right.
And print can offer that in a way that digital just can't.
That makes a lot of sense. Think about like the comeback of vinyl records or how popular those indie bookstores are.
Exactly.
People want something real, something they can hold and appreciate for the craftsmanship.
And that's where print can really shine. Like a beautifully designed brochure, a high-quality business card, a well-crafted mailer. They can leave a lasting impression in a way that a digital ad just can't match.
So for our listeners who might be thinking about how to add print into their own marketing mix,
Yeah.
what advice would you give them?
I would say start by thinking about your audience and what they like. Where do they spend their time? What kind of messages will they connect with? And then think about how print can work together with your digital efforts.
That's great advice. And don't be afraid to get creative. There are so many cool ways to use print these days, from interactive packaging to personalized direct mail campaigns.
Exactly. The possibilities are limitless. And companies like Schuster are out there to help you navigate all those possibilities and turn your vision into a reality.
That's a great point. It seems like the world of print marketing is much more dynamic and exciting than people realize.
Oh, it definitely is. And as we've seen today, it's a world full of opportunity for those who are willing to embrace what makes it unique and explore all the things it can do.
Well said. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into print marketing.
My pleasure.
Hopefully you've learned some valuable things today, and you're feeling inspired to think differently about the role of print in today's business world.
Absolutely. To all our listeners out there, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep on diving deep.